Hey everybody, Sarah here. Today I wanted to actually talk about a question that I've been getting a lot lately, especially now that it's corn snake breeding season, and that is how do I choose what pairs to put together? When I say I get this question a lot, I'm gonna say it's probably like in the top three most common questions that I get, and to me it seems like a very odd question to get, but if I think about it, I imagine a lot of newer breeders probably don't quite understand why I would put, like a snow with a caramel motley. Why would you do such a thing? So today I'm going to go over that. I am actually in a new house. I don't know if you guys knew that I was moving or what, I know this is a new background, new couch that I apparently matched today that was not done on purpose. So before I actually answer the question, which I'm not directly going to be, I'll answer the question for myself. I can't answer the question for anyone else. And the reason is because you have to ask yourself a question. And the question is, what are you trying to accomplish by breeding? What do you want to do? And there's sort of four subgroups to that question, like four options. Option one being, are you trying to make the most money? Or are you breeding for the most variety? Do you want to see the most different kinds of babies out of the pairing? Are you breeding for like testing out the genes that a snake might have? Like, for example, you have a normal and you just want to see if that normal has any hidden genes, any hets anywhere. Or are you trying to use that snake in a long-term project where you're going to be refining a certain trait over a long period of time by holding back different babies that accentuate that trait? So those are the four sort of categories that you kind of have to consider when you're breeding something. So for example, the normal being one example. So let's say you have a nice pretty normal. You have to decide, okay, how am I going to get the most money out of this normal? Honestly, breed it to a homozygous tessera if you can find one, because that's going to give you all tessera looking babies, and even though you're not going to get much variety, you're going to get the most bang for your buck. You will have to, this is assuming that you're going to like look for a different mate for the snake, or choose a mate out of your collection for this snake. If you're maybe trying to get the most variety, you might want to get a heterozygous tessera that will give you at least normals and tesseras. If you are trying to test to see if there's any hidden genes that the snake might have, you might want to get like a snow motley or something like that. Something that has 3 or 4 genes visible, so that when you breed it, you have a good chance of pulling out any hidden hets that snake might have. It's always best to get some really common genes in a snake like that. So go buy like a snow motley or a ghost stripe or something like that, because anery, amel, hypo, motley, and stripe, those are going to be your most common hidden genes. And so most corn snakes are going to, if they're going to be het for something, there's a good chance they're going to be het for at least one of those. If anything's come from me, there's a good chance it's going to be het for either caramel or diffused, because I work with those traits the most. I have a lot of like caramel things that I work with, and I have a lot of diffused things that I work with. They're separate from each other. I don't think I've ever like had a caramel diffused, but I have like one group that I work with that's very much a lot of diffused and anery and charcoal and some sun-kissed, and then I have another group that's got a lot of caramel and motley and amel and all that other stuff. So definitely pick out a mate for that snake that's going to have a lot of really common genes visible. That's going to be you're going to get the most highest likelihood of teasing out any hidden genes if you do that. And then the last being, is there something about this normal that you really like? Maybe this normal has really bright ground color, like really bright orange ground color, and you'd like to produce more babies like that, which means you need to go find a mate that looks much like your female, and then you need to, well, assuming it's a female, I guess in my brain it's been a female this whole time, but you need to get a snake that looks like the one that you have, and then hold back babies that have that trait the best, so that you can accentuate that and like keep holding back babies each time you breed, to get the best look that you're looking for. So whether it's bright ground color, thick saddle borders, or maybe you just like the shape of that snake's head or the size that that snake got. Maybe it's slightly larger than normal or slightly smaller than normal, and you want to produce like larger corn snakes or smaller corn snakes. You want to get a mate for that snake that's going to help accentuate that thing that you want. So there's like a good example of the 4 different sections that you're looking at. So most money, most variety, teasing out hidden genes, or a long-term selectively bred project. What I typically go for is variety. That's just my own personal preference. This year, which would be 2020, I am doing a lot of like teasing out genes. So I bred a snow that was possibly het for Motley to a tessera het stripe that was possibly het for snow. Since I don't know if the tessera actually is het for snow, and I don't know if that snow is actually het for Motley. By the way, Motley and stripe share a place on the DNA. So when you breed a Motley and a stripe together, you actually get Motleys that are het for stripe. Long story, that's in a different video, but if you breed a Motley to a stripe, you will get Motleys. And so that pairing right there, even though I'm only guaranteed to get normals and tesseras out of that, there's a chance that I will get Motleys and Anneries and Amels and anything like that, and that's just a test to see if those 2 snakes have those genes. I also bred that same snow to an Ultramel that was het for Annery, because I know that I'm going to get the most variety out of that. I'm going to get Amels, Ultramels, Snows, Ultramel Anneries, and the Ultramel was also het Motley, and that Snow is also possibly het Motley, so I could get Motley versions as well. That's just what I typically go for. I actually don't usually breed for money, and I actually don't usually breed for long-term selectively bred projects. I will be doing a little bit more of the long-term selectively bred thing with an Ultramel Okatee that I have in there right now. I just purchased her this year, and I plan to actually put her into my Halo projects, because they also have a lot of Okatee babies going on with them. So you know, you can look forward to a lot of like Ultramel Okatees in the future from me, hopefully starting next year. But that's the closest thing that I ever really do to a selectively bred type of thing. And as for breeding for the money, I just never have. I've always bred because I liked it, but to each their own. If you're breeding to get the most money out of the babies as possible, then like, for example, if you have a snow, then you might want to get like a snow tessera as a mate for that. Because then you're going to add that extra gene, and those babies are going to, they'll all be the same thing. Like especially if you get a homozygous tessera, they're all going to be snow tesseras, but you're going to be able to get the most money out of a whole clutch of snow tesseras, as opposed to me breeding a snow to an Ultramel. You're going to get more money out of a snow tessera than you will an Ultramel, or even an Ultramel Annery probably. So I hope that sort of answers your question on the 4 different, like what you need to ask yourself when you are looking for pairs to put together is, what am I trying to accomplish? And the 4 main things, like I said, being, are you breeding for money? Are you breeding for variety? Are you breeding to test out hidden genes? Or are you breeding for a long-term selectively bred project where you want a specific trait that one of the parent snakes has to be accentuated in their offspring in the future? Hope this helped you guys. I guess subscribe. I don't really ask people to do that, but if you feel like it, have at it. And share this video with your friends, anybody that you might know breeding corn snakes who has this question, or has maybe asked you a similar question before. I think that this is super helpful information, and I'm actually glad that I get asked this question so that I can answer this for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.